Excellencies, Chairpersons, Presidents, Chief Election Commissioners, members and other distinguished delegates from fellow election management bodies across the world. Mr. Jonggen Cho, Honorable Secretary General Association of World Election Bodies, AWEB. Secretary General, International IDEA, President and CEO, International Foundation of Electoral Systems, my fellow commissioners, Shri Sushil Chandra, and here I would like to extend a very warm welcome in front of all of you. In fact, on behalf of AWEB to the new member who has joined us, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. The earlier Mr. Ashok Lavasa, as you must be aware, has already joined or joining Asian Development Bank. The loss of ECI is the gain of the bank. Mr. Rajiv Kumar also has an extremely distinguished background in the civil services. He was Finance Secretary in his last assignment. Before that, he occupied one of the most significant assignments of Establishment Officer in the Department of Personnel for a couple of years. And he is responsible for initiating many reforms. I am sure his presence would enrich the Commission. Umesh Sinha, Secretary General and Senior Advisor and Head of India AWEB Center, other colleagues from the Election Commission of India, ladies and gentlemen. COVID-19 pandemic has affected every aspect of human existence, social, economic, and political. It has had a very disturbing effect on the fundamental right of citizens to exercise their electoral mandate by restricting their movement. EMBs across the world were faced with a tough predicament: whether and how to hold scheduled elections in a state of pandemic. The decision was not an easy one to take. Countries and territories, as Umeshji said just now, looked to each other for examples because everybody was practically and still is groping in the dark, so to say. The contextual framework of every country was different. The extent and trajectory of the disease varied, and so did the capacity of each country to respond to the novel coronavirus and its catastrophic, almost devastating effect in many parts of the world. All the Arab countries, I am sure, would like to place on record the monumental and courageous decision of South Korea, Australia, Malawi, Taiwan, Mongolia, and many other EMBs to go ahead with the scheduled elections, knowing full well that extraordinary measures would be required to be put in place in order to ensure the health and safety of the people while conducting elections. Not only this, the EMBs of these countries have also documented and shared this journey, the factors that contributed to taking a well-informed decision to hold elections, and the additional administrative as well as financial measures inspired in view of the pandemic. Elections in India pose formidable challenges on account of a very large electorate, geographical and linguistic diversity, differing climatic conditions, etc., to name only a few. Excellencies, I would like to share with you some basic facts and figures regarding elections to the Legislative Assembly of Bihar which have to be conducted before 29th November 2020. The total electors in Bihar during 2015, when the last assembly elections were conducted, was 67 million. In 2020, as you brace for polls, the number is 72.9 million. Male electors in 2015 were 35.7 million. Now it's 38.5 million. The number of female electors in 15 was 31.2 million. Now it is 34.4 million. The number of service electors has risen from 92,144 to 1,62,410 in these 5 years. COVID-19 exigencies and social distancing measures have made us revisit our own extant instructions. A lot of meetings, detailed input sharing with our field formations, between ourselves, with our ECI colleagues have gone in this entire exercise. As a result, the maximum number of electors at a polling station has been reduced from 1,500 to 1,000. The magnitude of this revision can be appreciated by the fact that the number of polling stations went up from 65,337 in the year 2015 to more than 1 lakh in 2020. This increase of more than 40% in the number of polling stations entails massive logistics and manpower implications. Very recently reviewed by two of our deputy commissioners sitting here, Chandrabhushan, who is in charge of Bihar, and Sudeep Jain, who is in charge of EVMs in the Election Commission, along with their teams. And the Commission will be taking a call in the next 2-3 days as to when do we visit Bihar, all three of us. Polling percentage in Bihar in previous assembly elections was 56.88%. Total voters, including postal ballots in the previous polls, were 38.14 million, of which postal ballots cast were 1,50,421. Total candidates in the fray were 3,450. The senior citizens electors who are electors in Bihar recorded in February this year are 13,03,542. The idea was of giving these few figures was to just bring before the kind notice of all the excellencies the sheer magnitude of the issues which the ECI will be facing in conducting elections in Bihar, which will probably be the largest elections conducted anywhere in terms of numbers of voters anywhere in the world. ECI has always been placing a lot of emphasis on extending facilitation to senior citizens, women voters, persons with disabilities, and in the current circumstances, ensuring franchise for positive voters and those in quarantine. Excellencies, way back in 2019, in the pre-COVID era, on the recommendation of the Commission, the concept of absentee voter was introduced. As a result, postal ballot facility was extended to voters who are aged more than 80 years, persons with disability, and those who are engaged in specific essential services, for example, airlines, for example, railways, for example, the underground metros, etc., etc. In the elections held to the Legislative Assembly of National Capital Territory of Delhi during February 2020, as many as 2257 voters who were 80 plus cast their vote through the postal ballot. The number of PWD voters in Delhi who availed of this facilitation was almost 500. Similarly, in the state of Jharkhand, where elections were held in November-December 2019, 680 senior citizens aged more than 80 years cast postal ballot, and the number of corresponding figures for the persons with disability was 1338. In the past few months, despite COVID, we conducted elections to 18 seats to the House of Elders, Rajya Sabha as we call it, in the month of June 2020. An indirect poll, it involved 984 eligible electors across 8 states of the country. The electorate for these elections is drawn from elected numbers of legislative assemblies of the states and UTs in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. Actually, it was our first baptism by fire after COVID. Admittedly, the number of electors is very small. It's only the MLAs from various states. But still, we had an opportunity to test some of the innovations we were thinking in terms of social distancing and other COVID-related restrictions. Elections are due in the states of West Bengal, Assam, Kerala, Puducherry, and Tamil Nadu in the first half of the year 2021, which my senior colleague Sushil Chandra would most probably be conducting under his aegis and with this complete help provided by Rajiv Kumarji, our new member, and any third member who may join the commission. Each of these elections would have to be COVID ready and COVID safe unless humanity is fortunate to get rid of the pandemic by that time. Fortunate is one part, but it will essentially be due to the work being done in the laboratories and universities all over the world by dedicated doctors and scientists. They would be the ones who will kind of alleviate the humanity of this crisis, just as their illustrious predecessors got alleviated the humanity from many other crises centuries back. I am indeed reminded of the better times when we had the occasion to welcome all of you at the AWEB General Assembly in Bengaluru in 2019. Could any of us have imagined at that point of time, even in our subconscious, that we would be meeting in this virtual fashion after completion of almost 1 year of that event? But that's how life is, and that's how we have to cope up with it. At that time, Excellencies, if you recall, a decision was taken to set up India AWEB Center for documentation, research and training, sharing best practices and capacity building of officials of AWEB members. I would like to report to you that the webinar being organized today is under the aegis of AWEB Center on the occasion of completion of 1 year of ECI's term as chair of AWEB, and in accordance with the mandate you gave us of identifying the latest trends, challenges, and developments in democratic electoral management, and to facilitate appropriate exchange of experience and expertise among the members with the objective of strengthening electoral democracy worldwide. In the 1 year of its existence, India AWEB Center has made significant interventions in the electoral landscape. I must compliment Umesh Sinha ji, my colleague Dharmendra Sharma ji, Shri S.D. Sharma, Senior Fellow, as well as their respective teams who have worked consistently through COVID and lockdown times in order to conceptualize and collate information relating to EMBs and the crisis response systems in different countries. The two publications being released today with brief profiles of the countries, member EMBs and partner organizations of AWEB, and COVID-19 and international election experience, as already mentioned by Mr. Sinha, would be a useful tool for researchers and practitioners alike. In times to come, the center will emerge as a nerve center of research, documentation and training for members of AWEB. AWEB India Center looks forward to collaborative work and discussions on developing tools for enhancing participative democracy in exploring the role of design possibilities in ensuring free and fair elections and creating a repository of knowledge accessible to all. I take this opportunity today to invite all of you excellencies in your individual capacities or delegations from your respective countries when the travel conditions kind of get better, and travel is something which we used to do as we have been doing most of our lives. AWEB India Center has also progressed considerably towards publishing a world-class quarterly journal called AWEB Journal of Elections. The first issue of this election will be released in March 2021. I have made a request to Mr. Umesh Sinha that since I will be demitting office on 13th April 2021, he could at least give this to the AWEB and to ECI as a parting gift, the first issue. This will create another opportunity for solid research, dissemination of research findings, and its application in election situations. We gratefully acknowledge the constant support of AWEB Secretariat in general and Secretary General Mr. Cho in particular in all our endeavors. AWEB Secretariat suggested names of 14 very eminent experts for the editorial board of the journal, making it truly representative and truly international. The Secretariat also helped us immensely by coordinating with member EMBs to provide us updated information and inputs for the two publications we are releasing today. This webinar is being organized under the aegis of and supported by AWEB Secretariat and the positive leadership of Mr. Cho. I am grateful to you again. Today we have over 120 delegates from over 45 countries and 4 international organizations who have registered to join this webinar. I have been given to understand that the largest team of 17 officials who have registered for this webinar is from Fiji. I would like to convey our warm greetings and felicitations to the Fiji Election Office in this context. The government of people of Fiji also, we give them our gratitude for this, and also the occasion of 50th anniversary of their independence. Friends, in these difficult times, we are all negotiating through uncertainty. We are all navigating through uncertainty. Against the backdrop of the contemporary challenges and situations faced due to COVID-19 pandemic, I hope that the exchange of ideas and discussions today would give all of us new insights and possible solutions to the problems each one of us is grappling with individually at our own levels. I firmly believe, and I'm sure all of us in fact firmly believe, that the partnership and friendship that we all share will help us tread through these difficult times and overcome the dilemmas forced due to the pandemic. As they say, this too shall pass. I'll conclude. I thank you all for your august presence at the webinar. It's challenging to operate under the shadow of COVID-19, But yes, as I said earlier, we'll all swim through together through this. I am deliberately not saying sing together because we are not going to sing, we are going to swim through together. Thanks.